Now it's still unhappy because this is a function defined outside of the scope of our class. This is global function named operator equal equal, which takes some parameters, references to two substrings. So in order to make everyone happy, we need to locate this function declaration. I assume it's this one, and make it a friend, right? So somewhere here, oh, this is also a long file already. Another friend, right? So we make this guy a friend. So then this should be happy. The next thing to check is, what does compare return? Parameters, and then return value. 0 if they compare equal. Perfect. So what I can do is to say that if result of this compare call with this long list of parameters, which fortunately I have them all, if this thing compares to 0, right, then it means that the this thing is equal to this thing, in my view. And we can say then return, just return this, since this is a this should be a you know, some people actually use parentheses around these longer expressions. We can try the same thing, like move things around a little bit, and just, I guess, something like that could make it a little bit more readable, right? This goes along with this. So we say return whatever's inside these parentheses, whatever's inside these parentheses. Inside the parentheses we have a logical comparison, 0 compared to the result that's returned by the compare function, and the compare function takes all these parameters, so all parentheses match, I suppose, right? So this parentheses matches this parentheses, this parentheses matches this parent, and so forth. So let's see if it works. So if I compare sub2 to sub2, we should say that obviously that should result in the proper result. So we can say operator equal test, just basically declare that sub2 equals sub2 is true, something like that. Okay, so we can see if this works. Also, when you write code, there are a couple of useful, very useful things that you can use. These are also like tracing and debugging messages. I would strongly advise to remember that two things are available. Cout. There are a couple of preprocessor macros that are available in every file. One is file, 2 underscores, file uppercase 2 underscores, right? And there's also what's available is line, which should report what is the line, and I will just display new line at the end of this. If I compile it, so 2 underscores file, 2 underscores, and 2 underscores line, 2 underscores. These are these two macros are defined by the preprocessor. So if you run it, you see how it prints D blah 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 line number 36, right? So it's very useful type of facility to have when you want to produce something for debugging or tracing purposes. So if I press Control G, let me close this window. If I press Control G, which is go to line, and if I type 36, it takes me straight to this place. I know where it came from. So in every file, main, H, other CPP files, file will be corresponding to the name of that file. As you can see, it gives me the full path. It's also portable. Same will be true on your Linux system or Unix system or Mac. It's all standard. So, oh, and I never paid attention to what happened. So, sub2 equals sub2 is true, so it works. So I am assuming that this works. So depending on your taste, there could be a simple solution because we can just convert substrings to strings and compare strings, or you can do it the hard way and say, hey, I could find a more sophisticated way. Arguably, this call doesn't produce copies of strings, which is probably a good thing, and it just needs to take a whole bunch of parameters. And it seems to be doing the work. Operator not equal. We can say that if we already overloaded operator equal, then we can probably use it here. We have one substring and another substring, and so we can simply say one, another. So call operator equal and return the opposite, right? Return the not version of it, right? So if this says true, then make it false. If it says false, make it true, because this version already is in place. It works. Does that make sense? Right? So, by the way, I can call my operators explicitly. Since I'm in the business of overloading operators, I'm actually going to call this explicitly, not as, I mean, I could have written this, right? I could have written it like this. I could have written it like this. C++ compiler supposed to find this as an overloaded operator and find it and use it. But, you know, my preference would be to just be a little bit more explicit and say, let's call this function operator equal equal for one and another, and it's already implemented. I need to implement inequality, so I need to reverse the result of this call. Equality and inequality test between substring and a string. Well, I guess copy and paste should work very, very, very well. Something like that. So, first version, first version would be again this version right here. This is equality test for string and substring. So we have string str, right? We have string name str, and we should be able to compare it with the substring and obtain a string from that substring and compare the two. That will work. Comment out, use compare function. Okay, let's think about it. So one string is this thing right here. So one string we are given. String compare, right? So we're giving this string on the left hand side and we say compare. We will be comparing string from first position to the last position, which will be string a length, and compare it with another, which is our substring. That should work, right? Again, it's a little unhappy because it doesn't want us to access string and begin. So if this is the way we're going to go, then we have to make this guy a friend so that the function gets access to private members of the class. All right, going up, looking for friends. All it takes is just go to your header file, right? Go to your header file whenever you declare friends, and just add another friend. I want to make sure I save it now.